Alright, so I ran across the video. Top 5's got 15 amazing fish tanks and aquariums. We're going to go through and check these things out, see what they're all about, see what they look like, see if we can analyze them a little bit, see if they're really cool quality fish tanks, or if they're slapping together fish tanks. Let's see what they call amazing. Are we going to get mad at the stocking? This will be interesting.
Aquariums are owned by the rich and famous, and some of them look absolutely incredible. From massive 20,000-gallon fish tanks to unusual aquarium designs, here are the top 15 most incredible private aquariums. Number 15. David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff may not be as famous as he was in the 1980s and 90s, but he's made one aquatic addition to his home that will surely last forever. The actor had a 375-gallon fish tank installed in his massive home, and while this may not be the largest tank you'll find in a celebrity home, it's certainly one of the most unique. You see, Hasselhoff made sure to fill it with homages to a long and wild career by adding a lifeguard tower like the one from his hit show Baywatch, and a small model kit, his car companion from the show Knight Rider.
Wow.
The most incredible piece sitting in his tank is an actual piece of the Berlin Wall to show off how absurdly popular Hasselhoff was in Germany back in the day, which all culminated with his performance where he hovered above the crowd in a crane as the Berlin Wall was being torn down on New Year's Eve in 1989.
I remember that.
He even made it to the 9th season on Tanked, where he made sure to get a home aquarium big enough for his bamboo shark. Remember to never hassle the Hoff. Number 14. Chad Ochoa.
I've actually got the Moscow Music Festival on my music channel. I recorded it when I was a kid on a cassette tape. I found them, put them in a mixer, brought it over to digital. Yep, really, really cool stuff. I remember recording that. Wow, that's cool. Bringing back memories.
Go. Some people are just so rich that you need to up the ante when it comes to excitement.
Cool.
You can't afford all sorts of toys and experiences, and you need to keep things fresh. And former American football wide receiver Chad Ochocinco is no exception to the rule. So when Mr. Ochocinco was building his Florida mansion, he decided to keep some exotic pets in an even more exotic environment. His home aquarium is the headboard for his bed. This means that when he goes to bed, he's sleeping with the nightlight on every night. Except this nightlight is coming from his fish tank, and maybe the hum of the filtration systems helps lull him to sleep every night too. The tank was built by Acrylic Fish Manufacturing, who are the fish tank makers to the stars, so it's no surprise that the All-Star, who's worth almost $50 million, went to the best in the business. You have to admit that a giant fish tank as your bed's headboard is a pretty ridiculous idea, but sometimes the craziest ideas are also the...
Here's something that's really interesting. Everything's artificial. Yeah, they're saltwater tanks so far, but pay attention. These are high dollar aquariums, and there's no live plants in these things so far. They're fake, artificial. Kind of goes along with the majority-minority thing when it comes to fish keepers. This just goes to show.
List.
Fish are decorations.
Number 13,
of
Stephen Ireland. Irish footballer Stephen Ireland was making an absurd amount of money while playing for Manchester City. By the time he was just 23 years old, he was rolling in the dough, buying all sorts of fancy things like a Bentley for his girlfriend that ran him about 300 grand. But when you're making over 100 grand a week, that's chump change. So when the European football star was building his house, he made sure to save a little bit of the fun for himself when he installed a 1,500-gallon aquarium in his $6 million mansion.
Why not?
The tank is made of plastic instead of glass, so it can withstand a rogue cue ball from the pool table in the room. And it's even equipped with Wi-Fi and a computer system, so Ireland can control the tank's lighting from anywhere in the house. It's pretty insane, but hey, as long as he's having fun. Ireland's home aquarium is home to around 500 species of fish, like yellow tangs, pineapple fish, and wrasses. And he's even shipped half a ton of coral all the way from Fiji to throw in there for good measure. Apparently, Ireland's been obsessed with fish since he was a kid, so it's nice that he finally gets to live out his childhood fantasy. And his 1,500-gallon tank is also the biggest domestic fish tank in all of Britain. Number 12. The Mirage. Las Vegas is one of the most popular destinations in the entire world, and there are plenty of attractions there to help revelers forget all of the money they've just lost. But there's one more unorthodox site sitting in one of the famous hotels that will definitely take your breath away. Just behind the check-in desk at the Mirage Hotel is a massive 20,000-gallon saltwater tank. Imagine coming to work every day and being greeted by that. This absurdly large aquarium is home to 450 fish across 85 different species from around the world. So you're looking at fish like angelfish, pufferfish, and tangs, just to name a few. And that's not to mention all of the exotic coral. All of the fish were specifically selected not just for their adaptability to new environments, but their compatibility with the other species as well. So all 85 species of fish were hand-selected before getting shipped over to the Mirage. This aquarium was part of a 2-month renovation, but it's now one of the most elaborate and technically advanced tanks in the world. It's only added to the allure of the Mirage. Number 11. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is, of course, known for her music and her talent, but she's also developed a reputation for being a little quirky. She's worn dresses made of meat, put soda cans in her hair as curlers, and even named her post-surgery wheelchair Emma. She's got as much talent as she does style, but one year Lady Gaga had to end one of her epic tours for some much-needed major hip surgery. Obviously, plenty of bed rest was in her future as part of her recovery, and the triple threat knew that that meant staying at home and being really bored. Now, a normal person would have staved off boredom by binge-watching television and movies, and maybe playing video games or reading books. But Lady Gaga isn't like the rest of us, which is why she went ahead and had a $50,000 aquarium installed in her New York City home, just to keep her occupied.
Why not?
And the only species of fish to occupy the tank? Japanese koi fish, and lots of them. Now, some koi fish can be worth up to $1 million, but when you've got a net worth of about $150 million, you can afford just about anything without batting an eyelash.
Very wide.
Number 10. Steven Spielberg.
For what it was.
So, as we've seen with the previous entry on our list, having a home aquarium to stare at can be pretty relaxing and help to take your mind off things when you just can't keep your brain quiet. And Steven Spielberg must know a thing or two about that, which is why he had a 14,000-gallon aquarium installed in his bathroom, of all places. The man is no stranger to the ocean's depths, having created the first summer blockbuster with Jaws, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that he's got a massive aquarium to keep him company. And now he can sit and ponder the meaning of life while getting some much-needed alone time. The 14,000-gallon aquarium has a curved shape, making sure it's not an eyesore in the bathroom.
Saltwater.
The world-class filmmaker also has a similar large aquarium in his home office, perhaps where he's getting the inspiration for his next sea monster movie. In interviews, the man stated that all of his friends and family thought he was absolutely nuts for installing these giant tanks. He claims that looking at the fish is an incredibly relaxing and meditative experience.
It is.
Number 9. Eli Fruchter. He may not be a household name like some of the other entries we've seen so far, but Eli Fruchter has one of the most amazing private aquariums that money can buy. Fruchter is the former CEO of Easy Chipper, a technology company, but when it was acquired for $800 million, he decided to retire. But what was he supposed to do with all of this money now? Well, Fruchter went ahead and bought a 10,000-gallon home aquarium and dropped it right in the middle of his living room. This giant tank is filled with 150 fish from 30 different species, who all manage to swim about in harmony with one another. And the tank's filtration system provides Fruchter's guild friends with an alternating current, so the fish can think that they're still in the ocean. There's also plenty of coral in the tank, and tangs and unicorn fish make their homes in it. And once a week, Fruchter drives his own golf cart down to the crystal-clear Mediterranean Sea to get about 260 gallons of salt water to replenish his tank. But every now and then, there's one massive fish that can be seen swimming around the tank. Fruchter himself. Fruchter's tank is so big that every now and then he'll get in and join his fishy friends for a dip. Number 8. Kanye West. Of course Kanye West is going to make the list of incredibly private aquariums. The man has more money than he knows what to do with, and is one of the biggest show-offs of all time. And so after his first album became a massive hit, West went ahead and bought his first house in 2003 for just under $2 million, and he made sure to include a giant antique fish tank. It's said that the successful rapper has always had an affinity for exotic fish, so it should make sense that a newly rich 26-year-old would go ahead and make all of his childhood dreams come true. But this 18th century style aquarium was plopped right in his bathroom across from his bathtub, so Wes can feel like he's swimming with them every time he takes a bubble bath. The aquarium isn't filled with regular old goldfish, but 30 koi fish, as well as a cherub sculpture and a gold fountain, all sitting nicely on top of a thick marble base. Way to go, Kanye.
Those are not cool.
Number 7. Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan is undoubtedly one of the funniest people on the planet, and so it makes...
No. What the... Those aren't koi. Are they? What the... Okay, moving on.
Tracy Morgan is undoubtedly one of the funniest people on the planet, and so it makes sense that he's got one of the funniest private aquariums around. Morgan lives the high life in his New Jersey mansion with plenty of extravagant fish tanks to choose from. The first is the tank literally built into his pool table that is home to 2 incredible alligator gar. Then when you go to the back of the property, you'll see his 20,000-gallon tank that's home to a coral reef and a whopping 8 sharks who all manage to live in harmony without tearing each other apart.
Why not?
The crown jewel of his home aquarium collection has got to be the Jaws-themed tank inside. It may be on the smaller side, holding just 2,700 gallons of water, but it's still big enough to house 6 of his sharks. But it's the look of the tank that makes it so amazing, with a giant floor-to-ceiling shark painting that looks like it's not just about to eat the entire tank and fish inside, but a huge boat as well. This tank is so well known and so hilarious that it's made a few appearances on the television show Tanked over the years. Having a private aquarium is cool, but having a great sense of humor to go with it, it's even better.
Wow.
Number 6. Shark House Mansion. In the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles sits a $23 million mega home known to locals as the Shark House Mansion. Sure, the house has plenty of awesome art, rooms, and amenities, but there's one attraction in particular that's just incredible. As the name suggests, the Shark House Mansion comes with a one-of-a-kind 300-gallon shark tank. It's just 2 feet deep, so don't expect to find any hammerheads or tiger sharks in there. But you'll be able to spot the 3 yellow tangs, 7 stingrays, 3 houndhead sharks, the remora shark, and the cat shark. The tank is flat and on the floor, so the best way to view this home aquarium is by the hovering steps above it. Just make sure you don't fall in.
Remora shark?
Number 5. Shack.
What? Okay, first we're going to hit the elephant in the room. These are all saltwater tanks. Some of them look quite natural. Other ones, there's a lot of just water and some decorations. And these are all decorations. They are not these people's pets. They're decorations for people to look at and relax next to. Mindsets. Not seeing freshwater tanks that are planted. Not seeing... Okay. Yeah. Continuing on.
Former NBA player and Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal is an absolute star both on and off the court. And when you're as tall as Shaq, 7'1" to be exact, you're going to do it big. So that's why the former Lakers center has multiple large aquariums in his mansion. And like many other celebrities and bigwigs, he hired the guys from Tanked to build a few of them for him. And these guys definitely know what they're doing. Even before the aquarium was installed, Shaq had his famous Egyptian-themed room complete with stone-like columns, hieroglyphics, and the bust of a pharaoh. But once Tanked had their way in there, the main centerpiece is the elaborate 8,000-pound, 800-gallon fish tank complete with hieroglyphics on the sides that all represent Shaq's different nicknames. And a tank like that has to hold plenty of fish, right?
Big-ass eel and a big-ass grouper.
This tank is home to just one fish, Shaq's grouper. But then there's the life-size big rig in his mansion that has the nickname Diesel emblazoned on the front and a fish tank over the grill with the Superman logo on the glass.
Insane.
Number 4. Dwight Howard. Washington Wizards center and basketball superstar Dwight Howard knows how to work hard, but play even harder. So when he was designing his new home, he made sure to include plenty of fun amenities. Howard has a few fish tanks around his home, but there's one that really takes the cake. The Wizards player is yet another celebrity who gave the folks at Acrylic Tank Manufacturing a call and commissioned them to build what he calls his Snake Mansion, which is both one part aquarium, one part terrarium, and all parts awesome. The massive enclosure features a 150-gallon freshwater tank in the center, which is then flanked by 2 snake cages for his collection of 20 snakes, including Mickey and Minnie, Howard's 2 favorite boa constrictors. The entire scene is meant to mimic the South
parrots,
American
oscars.
rainforest, minus the humidity and the bugs. The aquarium-terrarium hybrid is so impressive that it appeared on the show tanked on more than one
But
occasion.
it's still fake. It's all
Number
fake.
3,
There's nothing real in
Terry
it,
Henry.
except for the critters.
On our list is the plan for a private aquarium that sounds just a little too good to be true. But believe it or not, this aquatic dream was made a reality. When world-renowned football player Terry Henry was laying out his plans for his $7 million mansions, he wanted to include a fish tank. But this wasn't your average home fish tank. Nope, not by a long shot. This tank was going to hold 5,500 gallons of water and run him well over $250,000 to have installed.
Wow.
The concept was absolutely insane. Henry's London mansion was going to be 4 stories tall, with the aquarium starting on the first floor lobby and working its way up to his master bedroom at the top.
Wow.
A 4-story aquarium. The idea was 1 part ridiculous and 10 parts awesome.
3 foot
And even when
wide.
choosing the different fish for his aquarium
What
the
the
size
hell?
of a mansion, Henry had 2,000 species to choose from, including blue and yellow tangs,
Why only 3
parrotfish,
foot?
clownfish, even rays,
You could have
and
something
some
like
small
that,
sharks. The aquarium itself, though, would be divided into 4 sections, making cleaning and filtration a lot easier than it would be if it were one massive system. This fish tank obviously requires a lot of upkeep, which is why the busy football player pays an aquarium service about $60 an hour to keep this thing running smoothly and make sure the fish are all fed and happy.
What?
Number 2, Atlantis the Palm. Dubai is a city of excess, and they offer some of the fanciest hotels in the world to those who can afford them. One of these hotels is the Atlantis the
Guys,
Palm,
jeez.
which has a room simply called the Underwater Suite. It's exactly what it sounds like. Guests who stay in the Underwater Suite are treated to one of the most insane hotel views in the world.
Whoa.
The suite has plenty of windows, but instead of looking out at the Dubai skyline, guests can gaze out into the Ambassador Lagoon, a body of water 33 feet below the surface that holds almost 3 million gallons of water. You'll feel like you're on exhibit more than the fish will. Looking out from the floor-to-ceiling windows, you can try to count all of the 65,000 of the marine animals in the lagoon, some of which include rays and sharks. Luckily, there's a 24-hour butler service here, because you won't be able to take your eyes off the scenery. It's
Oh
an
my
absolute
God.
underwater fairy tale come true. Number 1, Mehmet Ali Gökçeoğlu. Chances are you've never heard the name Mehmet Ali Gökçeoğlu, but he's an incredibly successful and wealthy businessman and engineer from Turkey who has an eye for style as well. As you can probably imagine, Mehmet lives in an absurdly large and lavish home in Çeşme, Turkey, but woke up one morning with a great idea to take his home to the next level. Using his expertise in structural engineering, Mehmet took the 164-foot fence that lined much of the property and replaced it with, you guessed it, a 164-foot aquarium.
That's
Mehmet
awesome.
replaced his fence back in 2005 and filled it with 1,000 different exotic fish, including some sea bream, eels, and even octopus. He quickly became the talk of the town, and as
Wow.
word spread, Mehmet's aquatic wonderland became a very popular tourist attraction. But how do you keep something like that safe? With so many fish exposed out in the open, couldn't anyone just walk right up and take an octopus from the fishy fence? Not a chance, because Mehmet also installed 17 security cameras along the fence, complete with facial recognition technology, to keep his 1,000 most prized possessions safe.
Those tanks cost thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars in cases, millions of dollars in cases. Are they decorations? Are they pets? That's the debate. Yeah, people with money are in a different planet, but at the same time, I mean, they're filtered bodies of water holding fish, and they look pretty cool. Really cool. Interesting video. Yeah, the tanks were impressive because of the sheer scale of them. But a lot of those tanks were just money hounds. There was nothing, there was a couple of tanks that had the electronics and stuff for the salt water that would have done really, really cool. The rest of the tanks, plastic decorations, super filtration, keep the water changed, fish. There's no live plants, there's not a whole lot of live, like, sea critters. For all those people that like natural fish tanks and everything, this video is definitely not for them. But, hey, is what it is. That's what the video was, 15, 15 amazing home aquariums and fish tanks by Top 5. Link down below if you want to watch the video without me interrupting it. Either that or stop it whenever you can stop it. That way you might be able to zoom in on stuff. But yeah, links in the video. Link for the video below. Go hit a like on that one. If you made it this far, please hit the like on this video. Really appreciate the watch time. I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a great day.